Beep, beep. On his way to another shift at the hospital, Liam heard the familiar sound of his pager going off. At this late hour, it was probably nothing important. He could go back to sleep, but curiosity got the better of him, and he pulled over to check it. His eyes scanned the message. There was a code 3 emergency call coming from an unknown number. The address given was miles out of town. Was this some kind of prank? He knew he shouldn't go, but against his better judgment, he turned the car around and headed into the darkness. The dispatcher had said it was a medical emergency, but there was no indication of what they were treating or even who was calling. As he drove, Liam tried calling back the number that had sent the page, but it went straight to voicemail. He tried again and again, but each time it went straight to voicemail. By now, the creepy address was nowhere to be seen on his GPS. Whatever was happening here, it was taking far too long. He finally arrived at a lonely farmhouse on the outskirts of town. Houses like this always seem to be hiding something, their gables and eaves casting unflattering shadows across their porches. In the distance, a dog barked, adding a soundtrack of fear to the rising tension. Liam turned off the engine and got out of the car, grabbed his medical bag, and walked up the porch steps. A single light emanated from inside the house. What exactly was he walking into? Was this even real? What if this was some kind of trap? He knocked on the door. Then he heard footsteps inside. The door opened slowly and revealed a dark hallway. Was anyone actually home? Or was he about to find a dead body? When the light flickered on, he saw a man standing in front of him, his face half hidden by the shadow of a baseball cap. "You the guy I called?" he asked. Yeah," stammered Liam. "Yeah, I'm a paramedic." "What seems to be the problem?" The man hesitated, glancing over his shoulder, before stepping out of the doorway to make way for Liam to enter. He stepped inside. "Come with me." Liam followed the man down a long corridor and into a large kitchen. The only other people there were two women sitting at the table, both staring at him intently. "What happened? Where's the patient?" he asked. The man shook his head, his eyes downcast. "I think we need to have a word with you," said one of the women. "We do," agreed the other. They began speaking at the same time, each trying to outdo the other in a cacophony of overlapping voices. Liam jumped. Wait, he said, holding up his hands in defense. "I don't know what I've done." The women stopped talking at once. They exchanged a look. "You understand why we called you here, don't you?" said the first woman. Liam shook his head. "No, I really don't. Why am I here?" The second woman stood up. She leaned close to Liam, her eyes boring into his. "Let's make something clear," she hissed. "We know who you are and what you did." He felt a chill run down his spine. What had he done? She continued, "We want answers. We want to know why." Still confused, Liam looked from one to the other. "Why what?" The woman's face twisted in anger. "Why you left us. Why you abandoned us." Liam felt his blood run cold. These women weren't just random people. He knew them. He knew them well. There were 3 girls in total, sisters who'd grown up together, inseparable, until they disappeared 5 years ago. They'd been all over the news. Their parents had offered a huge reward for information leading to their whereabouts. And then, just as quickly as they vanished, they'd reappeared. And now they were standing in front of him, accusing him of abandoning them. But how could this be? He remembered the night well. He'd been at a party with all the local emergency services personnel. It had been fun. The bar was crowded and loud. Everyone was laughing and drinking. And then suddenly, he'd received a call. It was the police. Someone had broken into the house where the three girls lived. He and a few others had gone to help. When they got there, they found the place ransacked. And then they found the girls. They were scared but unharmed. He'd helped the officers question the neighbors, gather evidence, and secure the scene. After everything was under control, he'd checked on the girls. They were fine. That was the last he'd seen of them. So why were they here now? How had they found him? And why were they accusing him of abandoning them? One of the women burst into tears. "You never came back for us," she cried. "We were so scared." Then the other woman took over. "We didn't mean to hurt you," she said, "but we have to know why you left us." The third woman added, "Tell us why." They were so desperate for answers that they wouldn't even let him speak. One of them crossed the room and sat down on a chair, placing her elbows on her knees and resting her chin on her hands. "Tell me," she demanded. Another joined her. "Tell us why." The final woman reached out to grab Liam's shirt, pulling him closer. "Please tell me," she whispered urgently. "Tell me why you never came back." The urgency in her voice echoed the desperation in her eyes. As she held him captive, Liam struggled to form coherent sentences. "I didn't leave you," he protested. "You were safe with the others. I stayed as long as I could, but then you all got into the car with the police, and I thought you were okay." The women shook their heads in unison. "That's not true," they said in chorus. "You made us get into the car. You put us in the car." Liam's mind reeled. Had he done that? They continued, their voices now a menacing growl. "You made us go to the house on Willow Creek Road. You locked us in that house, and then you left us there." Suddenly it all came back to him. He did remember taking the girls to a house. He remembered questioning the girls separately, trying to get them to talk. He remembered bringing them back to the station to be reunited with their parents. But he didn't remember anything after that. Could this be the reason the girls were here? But then, why were they accusing him of such horrible things? As if reading his thoughts, one of the women spoke up. "You don't remember because they hit you on the head and took you to the hospital. You were unconscious for weeks." Unconscious for weeks. What did that mean? What had they done to him? Liam pushed away the memories and focused on the faces in front of him. They were his friends. They trusted him. So why were they accusing him of such terrible things? Before he could ask, they descended on him, tackling him and punching him. He could feel the pain, but it wasn't physical. It was mental. Their accusations were shredding his soul. They beat him until he had no more answers left to give. Just when he thought it couldn't get any worse, one of the women ripped open her shirt to reveal bruises on her chest. "See," she said, pointing to the marks. "These are your fingerprints." He stared at her, unable to respond. This had to be a dream. Suddenly, a new voice broke the silence. "Well, well, well, this is quite the family reunion," she said, entering the kitchen. With her was a man carrying a baseball bat. Liam recognized them both. They were the couple he'd arrested a few months back. The woman had spent 5 years in prison, the man 3. But what were they doing here? And just when he thought it couldn't get any worse, the woman spoke. "We're here to welcome you to the family," she said, with a sinister grin. Liam wanted to scream. He wanted to run, but he couldn't move. His whole body froze with the terror. The man approached, swinging the baseball bat. Here's a nice little present for you, he said, advancing on Liam. Then everything went black. Did he die? Let us know in the comments. If he did, who killed him? The man or the women? Why did they do it? And how will his story end? Share your thoughts below.